Trying to spade the Japanese ST-A1 is a War Thunder equivalent of doing the Cinnamon Challenge over and over again.
This is the intro to tank review, tank review. This is the intro to a tank review, tank review.
Let's cut to the chase. This tank is shit. The only good thing about this tank is that eventually you'll be blessed with the sweet embrace of death. In my 5-ish years playing War Thunder, I have never encountered a vehicle so inferior, mediocre, and ineffectual.
Number 1. Inferior.
Driving this tank's like playing Russian roulette, but instead of 1 bullet and 5 empty chambers, all chambers are loaded, and someone's fucking your ass. At a battle rating of 6.3, this medium tank will be the worst tank in the battlefield in every match it's in, even when it's top tier. The T-44, Centurion Mark III, and M26 Pershing are all battle rating 6.3 medium tanks that you'll face in a best case scenario, all of which are objectively better. The T-44 has a better gun, better mobility, and better armor. Same goes for the Centurion Mark III. The Pershing has basically the same gun and the mobility is about the same. But with the Pershing and its 5 crew members, the one-shot kill guarantee policy of the ST-A1 just isn't here. Furthermore, the Pershing has side armor that won't get panned by 50 cals. Hey, you know how the Russians made a really good tank like 10 years ago? Let's make one just like it, except shitty.
Number 2. Mediocre.
You see, dear viewer, every tank is different. Just like special little snowflakes, no two are the same. Everyone is unique. But just like snowflakes, all are similar, as they have to follow rules and laws of the universe in order to exist. In the case of snowflakes, they all have to be hexagonal. Due to the way water molecules are shaped and the fact that they have polarity, they like to clump up into hexagonal structures, which forms the base or the center of a snowflake. As ice crystals form and expand from the center, they do so in the same hexagonal pattern. The only variation is when another group of crystals forks out and separates from the main 6. All are unique and different and special, but they're also the same basic thing with slight variations. In the case of tanks, there are 3 variables: armor, mobility, and firepower. Some tanks are light, therefore fast and nimble, giving them the ability to perform flanking maneuvers and respond to emergencies relatively quickly. However, low weight means no armor, which equals easy kills for your enemy. Some tanks are heavy, impenetrable fortresses of steel, which is good for the not dying part, but not so good for the flanking and responding to emergencies. Most tanks designs are somewhere in between of these extremes, trading armor for speed and speed for armor or firepower. Medium tanks have to have a good balance of all these traits, enough mobility to respond to new threats, flank and support friendlies, while having enough survivability and firepower to hold important positions long enough for the heavies to arrive. Some tanks, like the T-34, find a really good balance. However, some are just dog shit on a stick. Just a fucking XP pinata for anyone with an APHE shell. The ST-A1, as far as a War Thunder meta is concerned, has some of the worst design flaws of any tank. It has the armor of a light tank and the mobility of a heavy. The bad traits without the upsides. The armor is thick enough to trigger any APHE fuse, but thin enough to let just about anything through, even at extreme angles. It's as if it was designed to be one-shotted. The side armor is like 25mm thin, which means it can be panned by 50 cals. And the rear is even thinner. Why is it so fucking slow? There's heavy tanks that are faster than this. Fuck!
Number 3. Ineffectual.
It only has 4 crew members, 3 of which are in the turret. And the turret is ridiculously small, which makes it easy for even AP rounds to one-shot it. And look at this shit, look how fucking big the ammo rack is. And it can't shoot behind itself. Thinks it's fucking fat ass. Even though it has a relatively big engine, it only makes like 500 horsepower. And the sight is way too zoomed in. It makes it super difficult to aim at medium ranges, and it throws your aim completely off at long ranges. And coupled with the shady turret rotation speed, it's difficult to lead targets. It's like trying to read a book that's 2 fucking inches from your face. I know it seems like a really minor thing to complain about, but it really makes it useless at medium ranges. And since the gun isn't all that good at long ranges, it's not really usable then. And the thing rocks back and forth like a fucking boat every time you stop, and so snapshots just forget it, it's not gonna happen. And because it can't move very well, flanking is out of the fucking question. And because it has no armor, you're just gonna get one shot at every fucking time, so what the fuck do you do?
Conclusion.
Going to a public park and picking sticks and branches and willingly shoving them up your butt is an objectively better experience than using the ST-A1 in a battle, as the pain you endure is not only chosen, but expected. The uncertainty of driving this vehicle is an experience akin to having diarrhea at a party. One wrong move, and you're done. That's all it takes. In all seriousness, the only 2 ways to get anything done in this vehicle are, number 1, support your heavies in any way you can, and just wait for them to basically carry the match for you. And number 2 is get good, son.